between teenagers, they were in that, and so
That's exactly
that's
right.
gone, so really it's not something to be,
Exactly right.
and it's not something that's going to be a pattern moving forward.
No, in our future, we don't plan on doing any of those things.
Okay, and then I was also enthused to hear, because there were a number of things I had, seen in your security plan. I had wondered, okay, are you actually using this? Because some of the, incidents seemed like they did not coincide with your own plan, and the way that they were handled. And so, I mean, I guess I'm also enthused to see the payroll records have been submitted. So the plan that we have here that was submitted, it was received by us June 16, 2015. I'm not sure if this is it was from board security. Is this still the plan that's in place?
It's still the plan that's in place, and there's been, obviously, I stated that there's been an increase in security cameras.
So then, for example, things like you've developed a policy handbook since this time, and for your employees and things like that to help prevent.
Yeah.
In addition to submitting the incident reports voluntarily to clarify certain incidents, as we went through in our last round of hearings last year, there were a bunch of police reports, but nobody knew exactly what happened,
Right.
what the source of the issue was. So now our security team is required to write down exactly what happened, where the incident originated, where it occurred, so there can't be any question.
All those incident reports were submitted. I have copies of them with driver's license and explanations, and some of them have police reports on what actually pertains to the incident. The last session we had, there was question as to, we couldn't figure out these calls and exactly what transpired, and I think I've handed in around 33 incident reports.
Yeah, well, I think a concern, just a question that I would have would be, I think we had asked for these quarterly in the past, and to my understanding, the reports were not always submitted.
I'd have to
In a timely
100%
fashion.
disagree with you, and I think Carol can speak on this note. I came down here about a month ago to double check and to look at my records and to look at her records, which she had in the folder, and the folder was missing a tremendous amount of reports that were already stamped by the village that were not in the folder. So if there is any type of breach of communication, it's on this side, definitely not this side.
Well, I guess that's, okay, so that was kind of what all I was actually going to suggest is if quarterly wasn't working out, maybe we would look at asking for them monthly was what but that's where I was going.
And we
with that.
can do that.
And
we have copies.
And I think maybe we need to also, as a board, specify. I mean, I understand these are probably sensitive reports. I don't know if they're being submitted to the village attorney, to the clerk, to Bill. We should probably work out a better system to make sure that the village is getting them regularly. And I think it also would be imperative that they be reviewed probably by both the village attorney and maybe the head of village code enforcement, just because they would be more of the law enforcement professionals who work for the village. So I think that would be something the board would maybe, and I don't know that the board necessarily needs to get detailed reports, but perhaps instead the board should be receiving a monthly communication after the village attorney and the director of code enforcement review these reports. And then if it's necessary for them to communicate with outside agencies such as the police department or things like that, to ensure that all codes are being met. I think something along those lines might be in order if that's a condition of, it should be granted special exception permit, that you'd be more, willing to work at a better system moving forward. Because there were definitely some concerns looking through these reports that they also didn't necessarily, in all instances, they didn't even seem to abide by what was recommended within your security plan. But I also realize this is a work in progress, and this was a big undertaking for you guys to started this just a year ago. So I think forward progress would be the goal. And I was very happy to hear you say that you're using the ID scanners and things like that. What I did have a question about is, and if this is something that's appropriate to ask, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Director, are you indeed actually maintaining a banned list of people who are trouble and
Absolutely.
making sure that
Absolutely.
troublemakers are not getting back into your venue.
Absolutely, it's common practice to prevent certain individuals who caused problems in the past to enter the venue.
Okay,
The security company is on top of it.
Is this something that you can work with the police department with that bandwidth? Also, God forbid those people have warrants, or
No.
is that something that you provide that
No,
bandwidth?
absolutely not.
I guess my concern is, what if somebody's been a problem in your establishment, say they actually have some sort of record or outstanding warrant, you know that they've been there, right? They go away, they don't come back. They come back 3 months later, they're at your door, and this person has a warrant, and they're dangerous, you know what I mean? Is there communication privately between you guys? and the
What I
police
can tell you
department?
is our security team is they're very astute when it comes to who's out there and who presents a problem, and they do work with the police department. However, there's no system in place, nor does the police department want us to have that type of system where we stop people, you know.
No, like where you would notify if you knew somebody was doing something not in your venue.
They know
right out on the street,
who
you
they
notify.
are, and if this person is particularly problematic, the police will let us know. Yeah, that does happen. It's just kind of part of the business.
Right, I mean, I know a lot of what's happening is right outside your venue, right? So it's making sure that communication link is there with the appropriate law enforcement.
If you're there at any given time, you'll see law enforcement on the street and communicating with our security. The lieutenant I've spoken to the lieutenant on various occasions, coming up with security plans right on the spot, based on what's happening that evening. And it works. It works every time.
Okay.
I just want to jump back to these internal incident reports. It appears, based on the village date stamps, it looks like every 2-3 months you guys are just submitting a packet all at once. Well, the study was going through it, I was just, putting all the our date stamps together. And that's what it appears like. So maybe you might want to do it every month or something this way.
That's probably better.
Being that the public's been very patient, I'll ask, is there anyone, member of the public that would like to get up and speak for it?